In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the coolant reservoir on this Dodge Dart. Let's get into it. Underneath, there's screws holding this in. Use a Phillips head screwdriver. You may have 8mm screws holding this in. Just like this one, this is a 8mm socket I'm going to use to take this one out. That's all loose. Back here, I'm using a 10mm socket. Take these bolts out. There should be one there. Use an 8mm socket, take this screw out. And right here. And the same on the other side. And slide this down, and it slides right out. Underneath, we're gonna take this shield down, use a 10mm socket, take these bolts down. Should be some over there. And it slides right down. On the left side of where the radiator is, we're going to use a hose. You don't have to use a hose, but I just want to run the coolant so it doesn't go into the frame. Carefully with some pliers, I'm just going to loosen that valve up. You want to make sure you do this when the engine is cold, not when it's hot. There we go. And I'm going to drain that coolant into a bucket. To help it go a little quicker, I'll just remove the cap. And now the coolant's drained out. I'm just going to close this valve just very carefully. Should be able to do it by hand, but if not, just carefully use pliers. It's closed. And take the hose down. Disconnect the connector right here, just push down on the tab, slide that off. Using a 7mm socket, loosen up the worm clamp. That's good. Using a 10mm socket, take this bolt out. Using an 8mm socket, loosen up this worm clamp. Grab the snorkel. And it slides right out. Take this bolt out right here, use a 10mm socket. Using a trim tool, pop this clamp off. Grab this hose. Slide that off. Just grab the air box, pull it straight up, and slide it out of the way. Using a 10mm socket, take this screw out. Right there. There should be another one on this side. This vehicle does not have another one. Just grab the reservoir and slide it out to the side. With this flipped over, there's a hose clamp right here. I'm just going to use a pick. Just rock it back and forth. Stretch out that clamp. I'm not going to reuse it. Pop that off. Slide the hose off. Pull this up. Do the same on this clamp. Just take that off. Using the using the pick. In some cases it may be easier to just cut it. I'm just going to use some side cutters. Oh, there we go. We unclipped it. Once it's unclipped, there's no tension on it. And just slide it off. Take that clamp off. I'm not going to reuse that. And I'll take the other one off as well. Get new clamps. Take the hose, have a new hose clamp. Slide that over. Slide the hose on. It's going to line up right there. Tighten this down. Just using a straight blade screwdriver. Make sure that's snug, that's good. We have another clamp for this. Slide this on. There is a slot in the hose, so it goes the right direction. And we'll tighten that down with a straight blade screwdriver. Take the reservoir, slide it over, push it down. Take the bolts, get those started. One there, and I got another bolt for this vehicle. Get that one started as well. Tighten those down. Take the air box, slide the air box in place. Pull the dipstick up if you need to. Push this hose on. Push the dipstick back in. Push that hose in place. And get a bolt started. Tighten it down. Take the snorkel. Slide that over. Get that over the air box. That's good. Snug that down. Bolt there. Get that bolt started. And tighten that down. Snug that. And tighten that worm clamp down. Take this connector, lock it down. Take this shield, we'll line it up. Take the bolts, get those started. Now tighten those down. Slide this in place. I'm going to slide the top or the front in first. Get that to line up. These two back bolts, get those started. Tighten these down. Same on the other side. Put these bolts in. Get those all started. And before we tighten those up, get these screws in front. Tighten them down. Two on the side as well. And there you go. Take the cap off the coolant reservoir. You want to add the appropriate coolant. Fill that up to the full line. And then you want to run the vehicle for about 10 to 15 minutes. Make sure it warms up and make sure it doesn't overheat. Shut the vehicle down, let it cool, and then adjust accordingly. Screw the cap on, lock it down.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.